Respect on that
Huh?
board, or got your green card?
Recording?
No, but I have my passport.
Have you updated it?
I have it updated and I have the little credit card one, and my driver's license now has the whatever else.
I'm not
on it.
worried about mine because I ain't going nowhere.
Where you going,
Everybody
Sherry?
all over the world dying to get in. We got
Croatia.
Americans dying to get
Oh,
out.
my.
Can't figure that
Actually,
out.
the Adriatic Sea.
Oh, wow.
I won a trip.
Oh, boy.
That's cost me $3,000 so far.
Yeah.
But
So
the trip itself is 20,000.
Ready as we'll ever be.
And the phone is on silent. Call the May BZA meeting to order. If everyone will please rise for the Pledge of Allegiance.
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
If everyone, before we get right down to the nuts and bolts, if you have a cell phone, would you please put it on silent or turn it off? Roll call,
Terry Deval,
present.
Mike Wingy,
Present.
Sherry Sherman,
Present.
Jeff Valiant, Jeff Willis,
Present.
Dave Goldenberg,
Present.
Mike Masner.
Present.
We have a quorum.
Everybody get a copy of the minutes from the last meeting.
I move that we approve the minutes as circulated.
Second that.
I have a motion by Mr. Masner and a second by Mr. Wingy. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. You want that one?
That's the first thing, yes.
The first thing that we have on the agenda is amendment to the rules and regulations. The proposed amendment to the rules and procedures includes swearing in any person who wishes to speak at the meeting.
So what you guys have in your packets is page 6 of our rules of procedure. Bullet F, I've just added and be sworn in after any person wishing to speak for or against an application must step to the podium, state their name, address, and be sworn in. So that's the only place I've added it. You guys have the one page, but if approved, I will reprint and you all have the entire thing at the next meeting.
Any questions on this amendment? Seeing none, what is the flavor of the board?
I move we approve the addition and the words "and be sworn in" to the procedures.
Motion by Mr. Masner,
I'll second.
second by Mr. Wingy. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed?
Aye.
Do we have a roll call, please?
You're opposed? Okay. Terry Deval,
Aye.
Mike Wingy,
Aye.
Sherry Sherman,
Aye.
Jeff Willis,
Nay.
Dave Goldenberg,
Aye.
Mike Masner.
Aye.
That's 5 in favor.
Okay, it's quorum, it's approved. Okay. Special use, BZA-SU-25-09, applicant Brenda Owens, owner, Town of Linville, by David Goldenberg, President of Town Council. Property located on the west side of North Main Street, approximately 100 feet north of the intersection formed by West First Street and North Main Street. Plat 1 and Plat 2 in Linville Sub, Linville Township 3-4-8 and 4-4-8. Nature of the case, request a special use SU-8 from the requirements set forth in the comprehensive zoning ordinance in effect for Warwick County, Indiana, to allow an electronic message unit 3 foot by 5 foot on the building in a C4 general commercial zoning district as advertised in Standard on May 15th, 2025. Staff report.
There are notices to adjacent property owners. We have all the green cards except for 2, but we do have all the white pay receipts, and they were mailed correctly. The existing use is Linville Town Hall. To the north and east is C4 general commercial zoning. To the south, C4 general commercial and R1A, one family dwelling. To the west, R1A, one family dwelling with all single family dwellings. There's no floodplain and they have an existing drive onto Main Street. Their statement in the application says they need the sign to inform the public of upcoming and current events in Linville. Application's in order.
Okay, is Miss Owens here? Should be a sheet to sign in there on the podium. If you'll sign in and state your name, please.
My name is Brenda Owens, and I'm with
Miss-
Sign Crafters.
Okay.
Sorry.
Could I get you to raise your right hand,
Oh, I'm
please?
sorry.
Do you swear and affirm that the testimony you're about to offer shall be the whole truth, nothing but the truth, so help you God?
I do.
Okay, do you have anything to add to the staff report?
No, I do not.
Questions by the board? Is this sign going to be on the building
Correct. It's going to be mounted directly on the building.
so it will face the street?
Correct.
Questions?
Remonstrations.
Seeing no questions from the board, are there any remonstrators here for or against this project? Seeing none, I'll ask one more time if there are any questions by the board. If none, I'll entertain a motion.
I, Mike Wingy, make a motion finding the fact be made as follows from the testimony and proposed use statement. Number 1, the use is deemed essential or desirable to the public convenience or welfare. Number 2, the use is in harmony with the various elements of objectives of the land use plan for Warwick County. Number 3, the use will not be a nuisance or serious hazard to vehicles, pedestrians, or residents. Number 4, the use as developed will not adversely affect the surrounding area. Number 5, adequate and appropriate facilities will be provided for proper orientation of the use. Number 6, the specific site is appropriate for the use, and the application being approved in accordance to the application plans on file subject to the following conditions. A, subject to an improvement location permit being obtained. B, subject to a building permit being obtained. C, subject to the property being in compliance at all times with the applicable zoning ordinance of Warwick County. D, subject to all utility easements and facilities in place. E, subject to no flashing, moving, or intermittent lights except white. F, subject to the plot plan on file and not to be altered or expanded. G, subject to no use of the word stop, danger, look, or any other words which could confuse traffic. And H, subject to no rotating or revolving beams of light.
Motion by Mr. Wingy, a second by Mr. Willis. Any more questions? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries.
Thank you.
Next up is BZA-SU-25-10. Applicant and owner Gerald F. McCaslin and Mariana C. Hagan McCaslin. Property located on the east side of Polk Road, approximately 920 feet south of the intersection formed by Polk Road and Folsomville Road, Skelton Township 5-5-7. Nature of the case. Request a special use SU-10 from the requirements as set forth in the comprehensive zoning ordinance in effect for Warwick County, Indiana, to allow for a private family cemetery in an A agricultural zoning district as advertised in the Standard on May 15th, 2025. Are the McCaslins here? Would you step to the podium, please? Would you state your names and sign in, please?
Rena Hagan McCaslin.
He's waiting for you to swear.
Kelly Weaver.
Okay, we'll go ahead and swear you in. Do you swear and affirm that the testimony you're about to offer shall be the truth, the whole truth, and so help you God?
Yes, I do.
Thank you.
Staff report.
On their notices to the adjacent property owners, we did receive all of those back, except for two. We do have the white pay receipts. The existing use is a single-family home with unattached accessories. Surrounding zoning and land use, north-southeast is zoned A, agricultural. To the west is agricultural and some C4, general commercial. There's no floodplain, and they have an existing drive onto Polk Road. The applicant's statement says they want to do this to establish a private cemetery for family use. We have received one letter of remonstration that was forwarded to you via email, and it's also in the back of your packets. This is from the neighbor to the north. It says, to whom it may concern, we do not wish to have a cemetery adjacent to our property. We bought this property 29 years ago with no cemetery next door. I'm an Indiana licensed realtor and know that's a negative on our property value. The stigma and unease of looking at death every day isn't what we want when we purchased our country dream home 29 years ago. Pleading with you to please deny this request for rezoning to private cemetery. And they also filed a page of Google searches, and that is the next page in your packet. So everything else would be in order.
Do you have anything else to add to what has been stated?
I've looked up some stuff too.
We've got a couple documents here that show that it doesn't really decrease the value of the property. Also, the list of all cemeteries nearby that show that there are already cemeteries on the property. And my father is currently dying and he wants to be buried on his property. And I don't think that we all buy a home based on what our neighbors would like us to do with the home. I understand that we do have a common dwelling, and out of respect, I live in a very respectful neighborhood, and we actually take care of each other as neighbors. So I understand their comment that they don't wish to look death, look out over death. Well, they have a whole entire property that they could look around, not necessarily just stare and focus at the property, because there are actually other cemeteries around the home. So I think it's fair to say that if my father would like to be buried on his property and the law allows it, then I think they're doing it the proper way, so.
I've got a list of a lot of home cemeteries that have just family on it and everything also.
If you want to give that to us, it becomes our property.
Right. Oh, you can have it.
That's your
No,
option. You can either give it to us or not.
If, that wouldn't matter, so, yeah.
oh, we got that at the end today.
Watch your step. I'm going to add something to what you said there. I bought property and things happen. There's a coal mine there, and that's part of life. You know, people have to work, they got jobs and so forth. So nobody can determine what is or is not going to be or come into scene when you buy a piece of property. I do understand that part. So I hear that.
Thank you.
We have a plat of it, of your property. There's an X on it. Is that where the cemetery is to be located?
There is.
It's up in
Oh,
the
it's
corner.
in
It's not even near their, it's on the far side of their property.
It's a larger piece of paper in your packet,
Oh,
11 by 17. You'll have to fold out. That's their site plan.
I'm looking at the overhead view of adjoining property, and I don't see any houses or anything close to it from where the cemetery is located. It's like a big open area back there.
It's farm area.
It's just south of Polk and Folsonville Road.
I know about where you're talking about. So.
I think some of the documents we just gave you show a large list of other cemeteries local to that address. So it's not uncommon. In
there's a
fact, it
couple of them. There's like one across the street.
used to be
There's
the
one
way.
down the road. Two of the people that we had given letters to had them on their property also. So it's
Neighbor.
right around the corner.
I own 35-acre field, and right up in the very middle of it on the hill was a family cemetery.
There's one out as you go up Yankee Town Road, up and it's a hill and there's just something but very, I mean, it's somebody's, you know, it's somebody's property.
Family.
Yep.
This is where the cemetery is.
Are there any state rules or anything in regard to?
So
They're permitted.
that X is where that is.
Okay, I got
And then the customer's name.
you. Yes, that's what it is.
State doesn't have anything to do with it. I already looked at that.
Okay.
I showed that to her.
They do that.
Well, they don't.
Mike, we tried to find additional information as well, and
There's
there
nothing
wasn't
else.
much. No.
It says
Okay.
state, yeah.
There's small
state doesn't
cemeteries. I
wanna
find
get
them in the
into
woods,
this.
walking through the woods. They're out
They're
on
all
Mount
over.
Red. I've ran into two out there hunting.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Mhm.
Honestly, the history of finding stuff like that is neat to me if I'm out in the woods and I'm, I stop and I read it and think about.
Are there any more questions by this board? Do you have anything else to say?
I don't believe so at this time, sir.
Or is there anybody here that's for or against this? Step to the podium. You'll have a chance after they have spoken to come back to the podium. Sign in, state your names.
Sheila Oriski.
Wait.
Raise your right hands, please.
Both of them.
Yeah, I can do both.
Would you please state your name, sir, for the record?
Randy Oriski.
Okay, would you raise your right hand? Do you swear and affirm that the testimony you're about to offer shall be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God?
Yes.
Thank you.
I brought pictures just to show how close our property is together. They're not far apart. They're pretty close. Gosh.
Yeah, if you want to give them to the board, they'll stay with the
Paperclip
board.
is our property. One paperclip is their property.
You know you won't get those back.
That's
Okay.
fine. Yeah, I heard that a little bit too. Thank you.
While the pictures are being passed, if you want to go ahead and state your,
Yeah, we're just totally just having the cemetery right
Okay.
next door to us. I mean, it's going to be close. It's going to be, it'd have to be right there beside us because the back of their property is pretty condensed in woods. The cemetery you talk about, I think, I talked to one of the gentlemen that the cemetery is on his property and it dates back to the 1800s. That's prior to public cemeteries. I mean, I understand they did that back in the old days, but I just never thought that I'd ever be in here defending our property from having a cemetery right next door to us.
It's 2025, not 1825.
Yeah.
yeah,
And any cemeteries that are near, like the nearest one, is probably at least 1,000 feet, if not more, away from us. That's the closest one. And then the Smiths, John O. Smith, Rufus Smith, their place down there on,
Smith Road.
well, yeah. Smith
I
and,
just feel like there's zoning laws to protect our property value. You know, and as a real estate agent, I know it's harder to sell property. It shrinks your buyer pools down. They don't want to live next to a cemetery. I showed a couple a house one time that adjoined Maple Grove, 2 different buyers. They didn't see the cemetery in the picture, but when they got there and seen the cemetery, they was like, no, it's just, it's a negative. It is a negative. We live kind of in a residential area.
yeah, there's probably, they're about 900 feet south of the intersection. We're probably about halfway in between there. I don't know the exact measurement, but
Yeah, it looks like the proposed cemetery will be a little more than 400 feet from your house.
okay. Yeah. Very visible from our back door.
We spent a lot of time. We've been there 29 years. We've done a lot of improvements to our property. We maintain it. We just try to keep our property value up. It's our biggest asset. Our home is our biggest asset. And I'm just devastated that somebody's going to try to take that away from us.
any questions for the board?
I don't know if they're trying to avoid property taxes because there's a cemetery, or if they've watched any TikTok videos or some crap like that. But it's a problem. Say that.
Yeah, we just enjoy that. We want quiet enjoyment from our property, you know, just, I feel like that affects us.
You're talking
I
about
don't-
Maple Grove, that one here in Boonville? You're talking about Maple Grove Cemetery?
Yeah.
That's a huge
That's-
cemetery though.
It is, but I showed a house on that road and that house sit like close to it and 2 different buyers, they're like, no. Because the listing agent was real good about not putting the cemetery in the photos.
But
I
don't,
remember I grew up by it, and we'd always go over there at night.
Yeah.
but don't you think there's a big difference between something that large and a small family
No,
cemetery?
because we're that, and who knows where it would end? I mean, they may say their dad, but who knows? You know, who knows where it would end,
So I have a question for you. It's not against the law.
right?
So if somebody come up and didn't like what you was doing on your property, that could come around one of these days.
Well, that's fine. If I broke the zoning laws, I would expect it to, but we don't. I mean, because I can appreciate them. If I didn't want zoning, I would live in Gibson County. I'm okay with zoning. I know why they're in place.
Molly, is that breaking the zoning law?
No.
I didn't think it
Special
was.
use.
No, I'm just saying that, you know,
Okay.
that if I was breaking
Right, well-
something that,
When we moved there, there was no cemetery.
no.
Matter of fact, they weren't there when we moved there.
Okay.
Our
This-
intent was not to be living next to a cemetery.
Okay. They're saying they're wanting to establish a private cemetery for family use. So it's not, they're not looking to add
Commercial.
commercial and start a larger cemetery. It sounds like, a
How large
family.
can a family cemetery be?
Depends on how many years down the road. You and I may not be here then.
It depends on what they've got filed, right?
Their site plan shows an 85 by 85 foot
That's not very big.
square. They honestly, they weren't real sure of how big they wanted it, and we said go, a little bigger to be on the safe side. We can always shrink it down if needed at the meeting. So that was our advisement.
If there was some kind of trees along the property line, is that something that, eventually they grow up, and if you leave it as is, they'll grow up. And you aren't going to be looking at that, you're looking at trees or bushes or shrubs.
Yeah, trees won't fix it. It makes me feel weird and creepy knowing that. I know that's
But that's
Can't-
not on your
you-
property.
right, but it's like right over there, kind of.
So how far does your house sit off the property line?
Ours is probably maybe 100 feet.
So you're 500 or between 500 and 600 feet from this situation.
Well, I don't know where exactly they're gonna.
It's on the far corner from your property on the east. If it be
Yeah, I
the
South.
south corner of their property.
That picture I showed you of all those trees, that's the back part of their property. It's pretty dense.
Mhm. Well, it's on the front on
Oh,
Polk
cool.
Road, but it is to the opposite corner from where you guys are.
Okay.
I know a lot of people don't. A lot of people are superstitious or scared of a cemetery.
And that could affect a potential buyer down the road.
It could. That's the word, could.
And yeah, it may not.
And there are also those that are genealogists who
Uh-huh.
like to know where everyone is and being able to find those family members or ancestors.
Mhm.
Have you seen the site plan? Have you seen what? Can I show you? I'll come around. See, don't.
I don't think there's been any testimony about headstones or.
Mhm.
But I think
Anything like that.
headstones they would have,
This
Yeah.
is the aerial. This is you guys.
a
20-foot
monument.
Yeah.
But if it's like,
And then put it down here.
that
Or-
Right
see.
along the street.
Why
Or
should we tell them whether it
the
should be
only
flat
one-
or standing up? It's their property.
Cemetery.
Well, it
Only one person.
deals with the issue of whether or not
That's
you
the
can
only
see
one
it.
person be buried.
Yeah.
You keep starting putting restrictions on, next time it might be
We
on
would
their
hand
property.
you an 85
From a
by
genealogist, I
85
don't like
foot
flat stones because they
area
get
for
lost.
family.
Yeah, I don't,
But small
Excuse me.
military
I'm against it.
style.
I don't think we
Make sure
should
you
tell
guys-
them.
I agree.
It's just,
I understand that, yes.
I'm strongly considering being on my property. It's just something I'm thinking.
Okay, well, we have heard your request.
Okay.
We have to give them a chance to rebut what you have said,
Right.
and then we'll make a decision.
Thank you.
Here was all the paperwork for the applicant.
Okay.
I just want to say that if they intended to dictate what their neighbors are putting on their property, they should have bought larger amounts of property so that their vision isn't skewed by anything that their neighbor puts up. Again, it is within the law, and my father is dying and he wants to be buried on his property, and I think that's
We
only fair.
understand.
And for the record, I don't have a TikTok account. Thank you.
Pardon?
I don't have a TikTok account.
I believe it.
Is that all you have to say? Okay. Okay. Discussion by the board? Seeing none,
13 acres, give or take, is that,
Correct.
so it's not small, not like it's a small residential neighborhood, but it's
no.
a big lot.
I looked at the deed, it doesn't I said aye. Very much.
It does not say. How many acres is it?
How many acres? Oh, we have 13 acres.
13.
It's more than one. You ready?
Any more discussion? What's the will of the board?
I, Mike Wingy, make a motion, finding of fact be made as follows from the testimony proposed use statement. Number one, the use is deemed essential or desirable to the public convenience or welfare. Number two, the use is in harmony with the various elements or objectives of the land use plan for Ward County. Number three, the use will not be a nuisance or serious hazard of vehicles, pedestrians, or residents. Number four, the use as developed will not adversely affect the surrounding area. Number five, adequate and appropriate facilities will be provided for proper orientation of the use. Number six, the specific site is appropriate for the use, and the application being approved in accordance to the application plans on file, subject to the following conditions. Number one, subject to the property being in compliance at all times with the applicable zoning ordinance of Ward County. Number two, subject to all public utility easements and facilities in place. Number three, subject to any state or federal requirements being met.
I'd second that.
Motion by Mr. Wingy, a second by Mr. Meissner. Any more discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries.
So we'll have an approval typed up. If you give us a couple days, you could either come and pick it up or we can email you a copy. Either way. Okay. Thank you.
Good luck.
Very nice.
Next up is BZA-SU-25-11, applicant owner Boonville, Warwick County Public Library by Brooke Bolton, director. Property located on the southwest side of Main Street, approximately 200 feet northwest of the intersection formed by Main Street and First Street, Linville Township, 3-4-8 and 4-4-8.
That was the same one as the last time.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're right next to each other.
Mhm.
I almost caught up for the first one. They were so close.
Request a special use SU-15 from the requirements set forth in comprehensive zoning ordinance in effect for Warwick County, Indiana, to allow for construction of a public library in a C4 general commercial zoning district as advertised in the standard on May 15th, 2025. State your name, please.
Jim Worley Jr., project engineer.
Is
You want to raise your right hand? Thank you. Do you swear and affirm that the testimony you're about to offer shall be the truth, nothing but the truth, so help you God?
I do.
Thank you.
Is Ms. Bolton here? Does she need?
Only if she's going to testify.
Okay, only if you're going to testify. Okay, sir. Floor is yours.
The staff report says
Oh.
we have all the green cards except for two.
Got too many new things
I
going on
know,
here.
but we do have all the white pay receipts. The existing land is vacant. I believe there was a library there and it burned. To the north and east is C4 General Commercial, South C4 General Commercial, and some R1A, one family dwelling. West is R1A, one family dwelling with single family dwellings surrounding the library. There is no floodplain and they have an existing drive onto Main Street. Their statement says the proposal is to use the site for a library as it was previously. So everything would be in order.
Anything to add?
No, I have a little exhibit, Molly, I think they're there with you, just kind of showing where in the world is it. It's just next to the bank there in Linville. And it was an old library that burned down because of an electrical fire.
Yeah.
And the proposal is to build an even better library. So it's a pretty tough sell. We had an old library, it burned down. We want to build an even better library, same spot.
I know exactly where it's at.
And on the back of the sheet is a picture of the new library.
Okay.
Yeah, the original library was an old house. And so this one will be like a legit library.
Did a lot of the,
Real books and everything.
did a lot of the old books and everything were
Yeah.
destroyed.
Yeah, so. But there was insurance money that helps pay for part of that, and the library had been saving some monies up, so. Yeah, but this will be more of a commercial structure, bigger rooms and such, not the old house with.
Will be.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay.
Assuming y'all will grant a special use, so we would ask for a special use tonight.
Any questions by the board? Seeing none, is there anybody here for or against this proposed library? State your name, please.
Corey Brooks.
Raise your right hand. Thank you. Do you swear and affirm that the testimony you're about to offer shall be the truth, the whole truth, so help you God?
Yes,
Thank you.
I own the property next to it. So
To the north, to the south, to the west.
south, south,
Thank you.
So
I just
across,
was-
across the street?
no, right next
Oh.
door.
Oh, okay. Oh, okay.
I was just curious where the property lines were, where the building was going to land on the property lines, because it's not a very big lot.
It shows it to be 10.2 feet off the south property line.
That would be your property line.
Okay.
I've got a copy I can show you. Fingers work better here. So there it is here.
Wish everybody was that easy. So that quick, didn't they?
Pardon me?
Anyone else for or against this
Do you?
building of the library? Seeing none, do you have anything else to state?
It's hard to vote against a library.
Oh, I don't know.
Don't-
Don't want to throw any challenges.
Is that a challenge?
We got a challenge on this one, guys. I'll entertain a motion.
I, Mike Mason, make a motion finding of fact be made as follows from the testimony and proposed use statement. Number one, the use is deemed essential or desirable to the public convenience or welfare. Number two, the use is in harmony with the various elements or objectives of the land use plan for Ward County. Number three, the use will not be a nuisance or serious hazard to vehicles, pedestrians, or residents. Number four, the use as developed will not adversely affect the surrounding area. Number five, adequate and appropriate facilities will be provided for proper operation of the use. And number six, the specific site is appropriate for the use. And the application be approved in accordance to the application and plans on file, subject to the following conditions. Number one, subject to the property being in compliance at all times with the applicable zoning ordinances of Ward County. Number two, subject to all public utility easements and facilities in place. Number three, subject to any required improvement location permits being obtained. Number four, subject to any required building permits being obtained. Number five, subject to any required state permits being obtained. Number six, subject to if the special use is abandoned for 1 year or has not been completely established within 1 year of the date granted, special use shall be null and void. Number seven, subject to special use not being altered to become another use nor expanded than that which was approved by the Board of Zoning Appeals. If the special use approval is altered or expanded, The approval shall be null and void unless the applicant owner comes into compliance within 45 days from the notice of violation.
I'll second that.
That's all I have.
Is there more to that?
No, that was it.
That's it.
Okay.
Motion by Mr. Meshner, second by Mr. Wingy. Any more discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed?
Thanks, everybody.
You got your library.
Invite us to the ribbon cutting.
Do you want me to email the approval? Yes, okay.
I'm gonna read my page in my packet so I remember.
Okay.
No surprises that way.
Any other business?
No,
Attorney business?
no.
Executive director?
The only other thing I'd like to just throw in here, when we started swearing in, we talked about, the notarized signatures on all of our applications. And so we had it on our variance, but we didn't have it on our special use application. So I've added it to it. Now it is an application.
So it needs to be a motion to approve the amended variance for special use.
Special use. Yeah.
Special use application that requires a notarized signature.
I will make that a motion.
I'll second that.
Motion by Mr. Wingy, a second by Ms. Sherman. Discussion. All in favor? Opposed? Motion carries.
Okay, thank you. That is all.
Now make a motion, we dismiss.
Mr. Wingy's made a motion that we dismiss.
And I'll second that.
So we can go
Mr.
home.
Mashner
Yeah.
seconds it. All in favor?
Okay.
Aye.
Opposed? Meeting's over.